I'm just curious, like, what is your stance on body positivity? What are your thoughts on body positivity? You're someone who is acknowledges that you're overweight. You want to lose weight. You're like working on it already, like as we speak. And so you're aware of it. You know it's not healthy to be overweight.
I think what's driven me to pursue the healthy lifestyle, because I always like, not interested. I like to eat my junk food. If I'm being honest, I do. And so what has kind of pushed me that way is my pain. I have chronic pain. I had an injury like 10 years ago and that flares up still. I have scoliosis. I've had heart issues, like I was saying. And there are days where I'm in pain all the time.
Welcome, everyone. This is my beloved Tara. I've known Tara since I was 3. She was my swim teacher. She taught me how to swim. She was 3 years old. At 3 years old, I'm 20 now.
I would say she was such a tiny little pipsqueak, but she wasn't tiny. She was tall.
So, Tara, tell us a little bit about you. Just tell us a little bit about your weight loss journey and health and all the things.
Well, I would say currently I am at the weight gain part of life. When I was younger, actually, I was size 14 and very chunky. And then when I got around 18, I did Weight Watchers and I went down to a size 6. And I hovered there for a long time. And then after, I don't know, maybe like 10 years, I slowly been like, I'm okay. I don't have to worry about my body. I'm fit. I'm thin. It's all right. Although in my head, I thought I was fat still, because that was a mindset, but I was like, I'm fine, I don't really care. And then I started like eating here and there and just gained a little. And then the past, I would say 5 or 6 years, I kind of was like, hell with it all and just ate whatever I wanted and gained a lot of weight. And I actually am heavier now than I was at my heaviest when I was a size 14. So, recently I've been having some health issues where like my cholesterol is high and my knees started to hurt. I was having swollen was having swollen ankles, heart palpitations. I have a pre-existing heart condition, but I think I've been aggravating that. So there's been a bunch of stuff going on that, you go to the doctors and they're like, well, try this cholesterol pill or this, that, and the other, which is an easy way out, but actually doesn't fix anything.
Right.
So I think what's driven me to pursue the healthy lifestyle, because I always like, not interested. I like to eat my junk food. If I'm being honest, I do. And so what has kind of pushed me that way is my pain. I have chronic pain. I had an injury like 10 years ago and that flares up still. I have scoliosis. I've had heart issues, like I was saying. And there are days where I'm in pain all the time. And sometimes the pain's like extremely bad, and sometimes it's minimal, and sometimes it's tolerable in the middle, but it's just pain.
So does the pain drive you to want to make a change?
Yeah, I would say it's the pain, and then realizing that I'm at that spot in life where I'm aware of how much I'm destroying my body by not taking care of it.
Wow. So you're aware. That's good. That's a good place to be. Because body positivity, as you guys may know, some of you may know how I feel about it. Some of you may not them. You know how I feel about it. So actually, Tara unfollowed me on Instagram because I said something controversial about body positivity.
Yes.
But
I didn't want to make waves and all of that, so I just quietly.
You didn't text me though. I do remember those. You texted me. I don't remember.
I said it upset me, and I
don't even remember. But okay.
I don't make public scenes, so I was kind of private about it. So I wasn't really trying to
strap a lot of,
I don't remember what post it was.
I'm really curious what post it was. I don't know. Did you ever send it to me? You sent the book.
I know there's a couple posts like comments on my post. So I'm not. It was a clip where you watched a video and then you would like talk about the person in the video.
Yeah, I don't know which one it was. Do you remember? Was it this one? Or do you remember like what it looks like?
I remember there
comment on it.
I did come on one with a girl went on a date and the guy was rude to her on the date and told her you're fat and you order a salad. And that really, I wonder what irritated me.
So you're okay. I was trying to find it because I thought it would be interesting to react to it on camera.
That would be so.
But I don't know which one it was.
It was I just remember she was on a date. She wasn't on the date in the video. She was on a date and talking about after it had happened, talking about what had happened on that date. And the guy was like, I'm trying to help you or salad. Like basically told her what to eat. And she was pretty confident in herself as who she was. I'm fat, but I'm not asking you to fix me. I'm just having this date. And the gentleman was like, well, you're fat. You need help losing weight. So I'm going to tell you what you should order. Reaction.
Anyway, I get a text from Tara about a few months ago, and she's like, "I really don't like this post that you have made," and I was like, okay."
By the way, I have no idea how this conversation is going to go because I'm not really sure what we're.
But I'm just stuck about it. I'm just curious, like, what is your stance on body positivity? What are your thoughts on body positivity? You're someone who is acknowledges that you're overweight. You want to lose weight. You're like working on it already. Like as we speak, we're working together. Whatever.
Yeah.
And so you're aware of it. You know it's not healthy to be overweight, right? Correct. Okay. So what are your thoughts on it? Like, because it seems like you do agree with certain things with body positivity. So I want to kind of unpack what you agree with and just kind of share our stories around it.
Okay. So, in the like 90s and early 2000s, there's this whole movement where, and there's actually clips they show of like this supermodel, and she's on like a supermodel show. She's super fit and thin, okay? And the judges are like, so you're one of the oversized models on this program. And she's like, yes, I'm aware. And I'm looking at her like, if I was as overweight as she was, I'd be like, hallelujah, I'm healthy. But she wasn't overweight is the point I'm making. She was very fit. She was thin. She was a freaking model on Project Runway type situation. And here she was being told she was one of the overweight models. And then you have like Britney Spears in one scene where she gets this little tiny pooch. Probably ate too many carbs at lunch or something. I'm not sure. Maybe she was bloated. And they were talking about how fat she was. And you look at all these clips where they talk about how fat these women who aren't actually fat are. And how skin and bones is what was selling as beautiful and pretty. And it kind of starts to mess with, on the one end, it's like if you don't have this particular figure, you are unhealthy and fat. But it was funny because they actually didn't say unhealthy. They just said fat and unattractive.
Right.
So it never was about health. It was about looks and looks.
So now you see how it's gone really different. Like now we don't have, like that's not the conversations. Now it's like, is morbidly obese models.
And I feel like, as with anything in life, that people ricochet. So it's like there's always two extremes. We were talking about this the other day. Like no matter what you believe, there's always two extremes on either end of every spectrum. And in body positivity, there's a lot of like, you are not accepted or okay the way you are. You got to fix who you are because you're not perfect to this standard. And this standard is in the world, say, this skin and bones with big boobs looks good. But then on the other end now, there's like, love yourself for who you are, which I agree with, but also don't stay stagnant in that if it's not a good thing. Like it's like forgiving yourself for the things that you have that you need to work on, not judging yourself, but not being okay and excusing it. And I think that's very different than I'm 300 pounds and I'm happy and I love myself the way I am. But mixed into that, and this is where it gets tricky, mixed into that is if you don't love yourself, you won't take care of yourself. So if you are, 250 pounds and you don't love yourself enough to take care of yourself, you're not going to even want to get healthy. Well, so it's like a twisted thing that I think mainstream media society has warped.
Well, that's really interesting you say that because I feel like when you hear someone who's 300 pounds and they say they're beautiful and healthy and happy, are they really happy and healthy if they're not taking care of their bodies?
So my personal opinion, because I haven't asked each person, but my personal opinion is that they don't like where they're at, but they're defensive because they feel nobody who's overweight actually feels good.
Right.
Nobody who's overweight feels good. I don't care what they tell you. They don't feel good. True, okay? True. Something is hurting. Something is not well because it's not healthy. And that's not a judgment. That's a fact. I'm overweight and I have pain. That's just a fact. And so I think there is, I actually forgot what I was answering. But
well, there are overweight people who say online like, oh, being overweight's beautiful, it's healthy, it's okay. There's a fat con every year where a bunch of fat people get together and celebrate that. What? Fat con.
FatCon?
FatCon. It's like an event where a bunch of fat people like indulge and they have gluttony-filled meals and conversations, and they like celebrate the junk and the bad food.
I mean, there's actual gyms.
There's even NAFA, the National Association for Advocating for Fat People. And it's a non-for-profit organization, and they make money off of selling fat supporting items for fat people. Like, they give you resources and links to people who are morbidly obese. I joined one of their calls once. They kicked me off because I wasn't fat. And
You were? No,
you were. I was fat, but at the time when I joined, I wasn't. I didn't put the fat suit on for that call, unfortunately.
So what do you mean by you didn't put the fat suit?
Like, only fat people are allowed in the call, and so because I wasn't fat, they kicked me off the call. Yeah. And they had like grabbers for their. But the reason I'm saying this to you is because there's a level of delusion that's become very normalized, and there are morbidly obese and obese people who are spreading this message. And I really care about the young girls. Like me, for example, when I was 30 to 20 pounds, I saw that media on my phone. And like Naveed and I were talking earlier, I was addicted to social media. I was just consuming that and thinking it was okay. So I'd order my double cheeseburger, I'd order my milkshake, and I would think nothing of it. Even though my mom would say something, my doctors were like, oh, it's fine to be obese.
Well, I think
my therapists, they said, oh, it's okay, you don't have an eating disorder. Keep eating all the foods. There's no bad food.
I remember that phase because, yeah, I remember your mom saying, I'm supposed to just let her eat it because if I don't, then I'm controlling her, which drives her to eat more. And I'm supposed to sit back and be okay with her eating more. And I remember your mom telling me that. And I'm like, at that point in time, I wasn't overweight. I am now. But like at that point now, I was like, gee whiz, I don't know how to answer this.
I remember that time because I remember taking advantage of that.
But that was like medical advice your mom was given.
I know, and I took that medical advice from the therapist, and I went to the store and I bought a whole loaf of bread and I ate it every day. I every day ate a whole loaf of bread, butter, and cream cheese. And I just say this to say that social media wasn't like, that's bad for you. That's wrong. Don't do that.
But do you think social media wasn't saying that because they didn't know what your actual struggle was? Or were they just looking at your body and trying to encourage you? I think that's where it gets warped. Because there's a lot of judgment that goes into fat people. Like, I'm overweight and I accidentally sometimes will judge people too. And then I'm like, I have to stop judging. Judge not lest you want to be judged. But like, I'll look at someone and be like, wow, does she not even care about herself? She looks so frumpy and fat. And it does give that persona, but instead of being like, I wonder if she's struggling with her, mental health, or maybe she's depressed, or maybe she was abused as a child, and so this is her way of taking control of her life by eating whatever she wants because no one can stop her. Like, there's so many underlying reasons to why people gain weight or are overweight that I think social media or media as a whole or whatever this movement is in the world, it totally misses that. And instead of being like, can we help you for what you're struggling with? It's just love who you are. It's okay that you have a big belly. It's okay that your legs can't sit on a chair. It's okay that you're...
It's like too fat. Right. Like you had every seat on Southwest. It's just become too... it's become too much. Yeah. Too much food, too much...
But I think I totally miss this. It's like they're so focused on how that person looks and telling them you're beautiful the way you are. They miss what's actually happening, which is why they got there in the first place.
Fat doctors too, who will be like, oh, there's actually evidence to show that being overweight is healthy. And I'm like, wait, what? Yeah. There are fat doctors who do that. I can tell you, I can show you. I could totally show you, but but that's what I mean. You see, it's like so ridiculous because we know for a fact my mom's mom died from obesity. We know. Like, we shouldn't have to be debating that. Like, that's not what our resources and world should be. But we are. But we're not. But so there was a video you saw, and I want to just kind of hash that out because I think that was the perfect time. So the video you saw,
come at me, babe.
The video you saw was, I edited, or maybe if you can find it, that'd be amazing, or I'll try to find it. But the video you saw was basically this girl saying she came from a date and the guy said she was fat and should eat a salad or something.
Yeah, and I still think that's wrong.
Okay, so what did you not like about the video? Just in general. Just give me the down pack.
Okay, first off, we have God-given rights, and if you're not religious, human rights. You can just stick with human rights. That each person can make decisions for themselves. So, like, if I choose to be fat and unhealthy, that is my choice. So even if it's a wrong choice, it is my choice because I am responsible for my life. So, that being said, having someone else, in this case, that guy, the date, telling her, you're fat, I'm going to order you a salad, he was telling her what she should do in her life, but it wasn't his right or prerogative. That was not his right or prerogative. So that started off was like, whoa. And I think I actually saw this video unrelated to your post, and then you guys had posted it. So like I had my own opinions, period, of this, not like my opinion against you guys. Like I already was like, the heck with this guy, you know? But that was the first thing. Secondly, like people earn a right. So for example, you and I are close. If you see me doing something wrong, you have the right. I've known you for 17 years. I trust you. I love you. You love me. Like there's that mutual understanding. If you came to me and called me out on something, whether I liked it or not, there's an understanding that that is something you're allowed to do. A stranger, a date, someone passing me in the street, they don't have that prerogative or right. Who are they? How dare they? You know, and so there's like, and that's like the same thing. You give what you see, like same. Like I would never go to someone I don't know. I haven't earned that right with.
So what did you not like about the video?
That you guys posted? Well, I wish you could remember exactly what was said in that video, but I remember that you guys were agreeing with the fact that she should have had the salad, and it's bad that she was okay with herself for being fat. But what I was reacting to is I felt like it was more an attack on her when her rights were violated, and whether or not she's making a right or wrong decision. She is where she's at. She went on a date with a man. He didn't need to correct her, but then to take the man's side and be like, yeah, you shouldn't have done that and you should have eaten that salad and you do need to lose weight, was missing the point, I believe, of the video saying, you know, saying this guy was disrespecting her. Like he was disrespecting her as a woman, as a person.
I don't know that.
So it was like two different categories, but they were both getting discussed into one, like a yin yang.
I don't know that I would agree with the fact that she was being disrespected. Because I think in this world we live in, it's disrespectful to not tell people the truth. And so
you have to have tact, and you also have to present truth at the right time and the right way.
You're going on a date with someone. You should take care of your body before you go on the date.
But she did. She was nicely dressed. She took care of her hair and skin routine. Like she actually looked lovely. She was overweight, but she wasn't like it wasn't like a frumpy, I don't like life. It's just she was herself.
I have the knowledge, or I would say the view, that women who want to be in a relationship should take care of their bodies first with their future families and their future spouse. And then when they enter a dating world, you can find a man while they're at their healthy weight. Because it's almost disrespectful for the woman to go to a man she's overweight. It's almost disrespectful for her to show up to that date and not expect the men who are leaders, men lead women. They should, if they're good enough.
But that's also
who and tell women the truth. You're fat. And I'm good thing. I think it's enough thing for men to say that. Because listen, my dad, he told me the truth when I was overweight. He said,
but he's your dad. He has the loving prerogative to do so.
But I'm so glad he did.
If I go on a date and a man told me I'm fat, I will probably not say on the camera what I would do.
I think it's good that we have men who do this. Because listen, when I was in school, girls would tell me that I was beautiful overweight. And men at school would bully me. And I'm glad they did. Because they showed me I had a problem. It was only the woman in my life who told me that I was okay being overweight, except for my mom.
But I never said it was okay for her to be overweight. It is wrong for another person to disrespect or judge someone else. Now, we don't know. He didn't know. A, was she overweight because she was stress eating? B, did she have a medical problem? And side effect, like this is to tie in, but my sister-in-law had a friend who really wanted to conceive, and the doctor's like, you have to lose weight. And so she tried really hard, but she had some medical condition. I don't remember what it was called, but it was some medical condition that no matter what she did, she could not lose weight.
And I'll tell you that.
And
there's a fact out there that no matter what medical disorder you have, you can lose weight. It's just
she did everything. She was a calorie deficient.
I heard that before.
And she went on this extreme diet and lost, I think, 2 pounds. And it was painfully hard for her because she did everything she was supposed to do. And there was something wrong. Again, I can't say what it was, I don't remember what it was called, but it was actually she physically could not lose weight. But the point is you don't know. And what if that woman was 100 pounds heavier and she's lost 100? You know, you made the comment,
Well, that's some work to do. I think
but that wasn't the point.
But the point is, men are honest, and we can't ask. You don't have. We shouldn't go in the situations if we don't want honesty.
So, but it's not going into a situation where I don't want honesty. It's that he was rude and he was wrong. It was not his place to do that.
It's every man's place to lead and be honest.
But he doesn't have that right to lead her. He's the judge.
If they're going on a date, she's looking for a future spousing it because they're going on a date.
That's why you go on a date. You go on dates to get to know someone and to see if you're compatible, to see if there's that mutual connection or, respect and all those things. That's the whole purpose of dating. And in that dating, it's kind of like, you don't do certain things on a first date. You just wait till the third date or the 10th date or until you're engaged.
You do that are kind of like.
But how do you go?
That's like for hiding their.
That's like me going on a date, right? Me meeting a man. And you know my journey, right? Because I've shared with you where I'm at. And I go to dinner with someone. And that guy says to me, "You're overweight." And I'm like, "Well, who the hell are you?" Like, first off, you don't know that I've already been eating healthy for 3 weeks and I've lost 5 pounds. You don't know that maybe I had a death in the family and gained weight. You don't know whatever it is I'm going through. For that man to tell me that is like really disrespectful for him, because I know you don't agree. But here is it. They don't have that right. They don't have the prerogative. And it's not about telling the truth. It is about it being done in the right way. Because if we were to just say whatever's on our mind that we think, because that's his truth, that she needs to work on herself. He didn't know what her truth was. Maybe she was working on herself. Maybe she has already lost 50 pounds. So should she penalize and punish herself because she's not at that prime weight for him to get that opinion?
Everyone is allowed to get their opinion and speak freely. It's free speech.
So that means she's allowed to tell him he's wrong. There's 2 ways.
I mean, if someone's fat, then he's not wrong. Factually, he's not wrong for telling her that she's fat because it's a truth. She got on the scale, she's overweight, she's fat. That's just the truth. Men are honest.
But to tell her what to eat and to not allow her to order a salad, that's disrespectful.
If you don't want a men's truth, then don't go on a date with that. Don't go on a date that night.
Why you go on a date? So that you can learn to see if that guy is respectful and kind. You think about it.
Good men are honest, and good men who have overweight women in their life, they usually help them get off weight. So like I met my person, my love. When I met my love, I still had 30 pounds to lose, and I lost 30 more pounds. For example, they helped me and encouraged me to do so better. They didn't shame me, but
just because there are good men who help their women lose weight, doesn't make every man.
So he was going to help her lose weight by saying, "Let's have a salad for dinner instead."
No, he did a good thing. He didn't say that. He said, "You're overweight. You need to order a salad."
Remember, he's leading her.
No, it's not. It's not amazing to take over someone's life, because at the end of the day, right? If someone chooses to be unhealthy and fat and unwise and make poor decisions, right? No matter how much that bothers us, that is their choice. That is their human right. So for me to come and tell you, you should lose weight or you shouldn't lose weight, whatever it is, right?
Your choice.
We're reacting.
You don't have to react to anything.
We're our controller. The society is reacting to women and the whole body positivity movement, right? Is people saying you're okay to be fat. So if that's not okay for them to say that, then it's also not okay for someone to say you're fat, you should lose weight. It has to be a two-way street.
Well, it's not okay to lie.
There's science to everyone fat
is actually fat.
No, but
fat is totally fine.
But 100%, that's disrespectful. But it does not. It models ride.
What is disrespectful?
It's not a lie if you're not saying anything.
So what is disrespectful about telling someone the truth that they are fat when they are factually fat? What is the
Because not everyone has that right to come into your life and tell you something.
Why? Why doesn't anyone have the right to tell somebody the truth?
Well, think about it. You go into a grocery store. You're picking up apples for apple pie for Thanksgiving. And you turn around and you just see a fat man. And you're like, excuse me, sir, you're fat and you need to order salad and not eat those potato chips.
But
Like, who the heck?
the person, sorry, is not on a date with them. If you're
So that date is a brand new date. That's still a stranger.
it doesn't matter. When you go on a date, you're both.
Why does it not matter?
Because when you're going on a date, you're both mutually agreeing that you want to potentially have a relationship. And so then the person who's potentially going to get in a relationship,
that's not
that person.
Dating is a find out. So we're talking about two different things. On one hand, you're dating to find out if that person makes a good partner, right? Mutually. Can she be with him? Can he be with her? Also, we're talking about a stranger because he was a stranger. It was the first date. They'd never met before. So they don't know if they're actually compatible and would be a good team, you know?
Good. There is lie to each other. So I'm so glad he called her out.
It is not a lie to hold back an opinion or something you notice that you would like to say. It's not a lie to you. Like, if I don't like this blue dress on you, I'm not lying to you if I say, hi, Penelope, how are you? Okay? It's not a lie. Now, if I said to you, you look beautiful in that blue dress, and I don't think you look beautiful, that's a lie. So you go to a date, right? Let's think through this. You go to the date. She's fat. We don't know her past. We don't know her journey. We don't know what she's doing. She's a woman who thankfully loved herself, and maybe in that love for herself would work to be healthier. But we don't know. We just know what the story that we can talk about. Here's a man. We know he has crap too. He's human. He's not perfect. No one's perfect. He doesn't need to say, you're fat, don't order this steak. That's not his right.
It's his right. If he's paying for the dinner, it's his right.
Well, we have to, that's a lot of layers to pack. We don't know if he actually paid.
He is allowed to say the truth. He's allowed to say the opinion.
If that's
what he's not to say, hey,
I don't care if I was fat or not. If that was me and a man treated me like that, that says to me, A, he doesn't take time to think about my emotions. B, he's not concerned about supporting me. He's bossing me around. A, B, C, how do you think with letter components? C, it's telling him that instead of getting to know me and loving me for who I am in my core, that does not mean loving me and allowing me to be fat. There's still my choice to be fat because we have those rights, human rights. But if a man said that to me, I would know that in that relationship, which would hopefully lead to marriage, he would be domineering. He'd be unkind. He wouldn't be supportive because he never, because he never took the time to get to know her, to then say, can I come alongside of you and help you in your weight loss journey? He didn't do that. He just told her, you're fat, order salad.
I think it's great.
If he had said, how are you, and got to know her, then he could learn, why is she fat? Can I come alongside and help? People don't have the prerogative to just blare their views or their beliefs onto other people. Think about that. Like, I'm a Christian. I could meet a Muslim and be like, you shouldn't be Muslim, and I'm going to tell you the truth. That's a disrespect.
There is a huge problem in our society with men going on dates with overweight women, buying men junk food, buying them the steak, not saying that they're fat, and then guess what? The next day they're going to gain more weight. You know what? The next week they're going to gain.
But that's not the man's prerogative to fix a
man's job to lead the way.
The woman that he's supposed to read.
And if he's on a date with her, he is 100% allowed to. If anyone is 100%.
So then she is 100% allowed to tell him to back off.
She's in the wrong for that because he's obviously telling the truth.
But is he? How do you know she's not already on a health journey?
It doesn't matter if she's on a health journey or not. You can be on a health journey and still be fat. It doesn't, just because you're on a health journey doesn't mean you're not fat.
It's not about like her being fat. It was about him disrespecting her. It's not disrespectful to tell the truth. It's not. It is disrespectful to treat people disrespectfully. I can tell you
about saying, hey,
I can tell you the truth.
I believe that's a difference.
I can tell you the truth with respect, and I can tell you the truth with disrespect.
It's truthfully respectful.
I can to say, but you wouldn't tell the truth respectfully. People can tell the truth disrespectfully.
And it's totally fine that he said that she was fat. And it's a good to keep helping her become more aware. He's an outling horse.
You can edit that out if you want, but
I don't think so. I just sounded great.
So
he's being a good, honest.
I was in church service once, and the pastor said this amazing clip, and he said, truth without grace is not received, is rejected. And grace without truth is a lie. So when you give grace, right, without truth, in this case, you're saying, well, the truth is she's fat. But if you don't take that fat truth and apply it with grace, it is rejected. That's just a fact. So him coming and telling her, not only was he crossing and disrespecting her rights, because he does not have the prerogative to tell her what to order. That's just wrong. And
he's paying for the meal. He'd 100% have.
Well, we don't know. We'd have to ask that.
Usually.
But
usually
not in this day and age. Do you know how many men have, like...
No, I don't, because I don't.
You're lucky. But there are so many times where the guy does not offer to pay. And it is very... Chivalry is dying. Exactly.
Well,
chivalry is dying out.
Women play a really big role in that, too. But anyway.
There is a whole movement of women being independent and men don't know what to do because they walk with eggshells. Because on one hand, it's like, well, if I let you pay for the meal, then you're the independent woman that society says, like, a feminist wants you to be. But on the other hand, if you don't pay for the meal, then you're like, wow, you're a jerk. You weren't being chivalristic. So it is actually confusing for men to know when they are to step up and not. And that's because women do give confusing signals. That's all true. It's still disrespectful to say certain things certain ways. It's not all truth
to say someone's fat. We should say it more often in society. It is. We don't say it enough today.
Because you can break
and we don't tell them that they're fat, and then they keep eating.
But the rates are just rising. The BC rates are rising, and being overweight is an issue. But if you come to someone and give, you know how they say it's unsolicited advice, unwarranted advice, like back to what I was saying that my pastor said, if it is not, the truth is not laced with grace, it is rejected. There's a lot of truth in this world. I could look out the window while driving and see someone and be like, a million things I could say. They're not all going to be received. Not everything is received. Not everything should be said at the right time. At a certain time. There sure is right and wrong times.
Graceful and respectful go together. And he didn't say, you're an ugly pig or you're an ugly fat pig. He just said,
well, you have watched the video because he actually was rude in how he told her.
You know what? If the tone was a little off, if he was yelling at her, that's different. But if he wasn't yelling at her, because I don't think he was yelling at her in the video. I could be wrong.
It's very also dialoguing something that we weren't there on, so we don't actually know if he was rude and mean. We don't know.
In general,
he could have been very asshole-ish.
You know, when I was at dinner with my grandpa, and he would say, Penelope, that's too much fruit. You know, Penelope, you gained a lot of weight. You really go. My dad said, Penelope, you know, you shouldn't have that bird because you're really overweight. That's not me. That's not disrespectful. That really helped me realize I had a problem. It helped.
They have prerogatives. They are men in your life that you trust and respect. They've earned that right.
We need more honesty. We need more.
I didn't disagree with that.
Family members, and we need more spouses.
But it is not
who tell us when we're getting on the weight.
Spouses and partners. That's different than a date.
A first date should tell you too.
And well, he did. He basically told her in so many words, "Don't date me. I'm a jerk." And thank God he did on the first date.
I think more people publish,
so she knew not to go with him.
I think more friends should do the same.
It'd be interesting to read the comments on this video.
I really think I'm gonna try to pull it up after we finish this. But anyway, so Tara thinks it was disrespectful. She unfollowed us on Instagram because of it.
I respectfully unfollowed. I did not make a public scene. I'm out of age.
No, I know you're not. I just have a really strong stance on honesty. And I think anyone who's honest, like I encourage more men to be honest like that because I think there aren't enough of them.
So why don't you encourage women to be honest and stick up for themselves?
What do you mean?
Well, in this case, her honesty was that she felt like she felt like she was disrespected, right? She felt disrespected. Her truth and her honesty was, that's wrong. He should not have treated me like that. But, you know, we're having this, I don't know how long it's been, 15-minute dialogue on how it's fine for men to tell women they're fat because that's truth. But what about the women getting to speak their own truth and their own anything? Their own truth could be, I'm on a weight loss journey. Their own truth could be, she could go to a man and be like, I mean, how do you know? We don't actually know if he was overweight or not. There's a woman I follow on Facebook. She kind of cracks me up. She's very overweight. She knows she's overweight. She doesn't say it's good. She just says, yeah, I'm fat. But she doesn't dialogue it. So what's the like? It's funny because there are tons of men. It's really funny, actually. It's why I followed her, because it's hilariously ridiculous, but tons of men who comment on her page and say things like, you fat whore, and you obese, morbid, ugly pig, and these derogatory comments.
Yes, I don't think that those kinds of comments are really that helpful.
and then they zoom in on what the guy looks like. Half of these men are fat. Half of them are really unkempt. Like, they look very...
So what's the point?
Yeah, that they're speaking their truth that you've been defending. Men can speak truth and have the prerogative to speak any truth they want over a woman.
A woman can call out if I may.
But a woman has her truth, and her truth is no one should tell her what to do. When we die and go to heaven, again, if you're religious, when you die and go to heaven, you're not going to go to God and be like, so this man said I'm fat, and therefore you should punish him, not me. Like, God will be like, no, you answer for you, and go to him. No, you answer for you. Each individual's right to have that they answer to God. So,
and God doesn't believe in gluttony. So
he also talks about men treating women with respect, equality,
to me, love, to be honest and say, hey, you need to lose weight.
Do you agree? I'm curious. Do you agree that you can be honest and disrespectful?
No.
So I could say something to you that's truthful and hurtful and unkindly said.
I choose how I react to what you say. So
right, but that's your choice and reactions. That doesn't negate if I do something wrong.
So
I could present something in a really nasty way, and I could be in the wrong, even though I'm speaking the truth.
But then I have compassion for you and where you're coming from and why you would feel that way and say that. And I know
that doesn't excuse me from having to be accountable for my own actions. Like in this case, that guy needs to still be accountable for his actions because he answers to God accountable because he did something. So men get off the hook all the time.
I never said that. I say you hands up okay for a man to say that a woman is fat. I think that's fine. That's honest and that's truthful. And it's also okay for a woman to tell a man that you're
to have a wholeness series to help out this.
It's 100% okay for us, Viola. But a woman to tell a man he's fat and for a man to tell a woman she's fat, it's totally fine. It goes both ways. It's 100%.
But it's not, because the same thing I'm preaching about how he was wrong to tell her that, I also believe it goes two ways. I wouldn't sit here and say, but that's okay. Now the women can say, no. I think if a woman said to a man, they're fat, like here's like a nice example. What I was trying to go back to with the whole like you earn that right. I had before 2 different people tell me, and not about weight loss, was that something else? 2 different people tell me something in my life personally. Okay, literally one person told me, and I was like thinking really in perfect thoughts. I was angry. I rejected what they said. I got mad, and I was like, who the hell are they? Because they didn't earn that prerogative in my life. They did not have the right to tell me what they believe was their truth that they had to tell me. It was wrong. Someone else told me the exact same thing. And I remember it happening like 2 days apart, and it was like verbatim. Same thing. But that person, I respected and I trusted. And when they told me, like if you heard it, you would have been like, they said the same thing. Why'd you get mad here and why'd you accept it there? Because there was a respect that I have for them. There was a trust that we had built as humans who have because humans are made for relationships and connection, right? So there was that person was allowed to speak that into my life, which I then took and applied and made the changes that was necessary, because that person earned that right to speak that particular truth to me that this other person had not earned, And so here it was the same exact thing, and it was just this eye-opener moment for me, because it was not the truth that I needed to hear. It was how it was presented and who presents it to me. So it had nothing to do with truth. It had nothing to do with that fact, because in both cases, both people were right, because it was something I needed to work on. One didn't have the prerogative and the right to do it, and therefore I rejected it. One had the right and the prerogative, and I trusted them, and they respected and loved me enough to tell it to me in love. And I accepted that because that relationship had been built. And so, like, back to the point I was trying to make with, like, this date, like, that it doesn't negate the truth. Was she overweight? That, in this case, that's the truth. That's the nugget of truth, right? Certain people have that prerogative, that right, that respect, that relationship, that time has been built and invested in.
And there's no, and that's just where we're gonna have to agree and disagree. Because I think anyone could tell someone they're fat. I think it's a good thing. I remember being bullied in school. Anyone in school still bullying me and telling me I was not, and I think it was great. It really.
Do you think those bullies should not have been punished for that?
It really helped me understand that I had an eating problem, which I did not understand from the social media, from the body positivity movement, from the doctors and therapists. The bullies at school, who were mostly men, helped me overcome my obesity, helped me realize I had a problem.
I'm curious, do you believe that those bullies were okay to be bullying, or should they have been held accountable for
Shouldn't they have been saying I was an ugly old pig or, some very derogatory language that I won't be speaking today? I will not, I don't condone people going out of their way to say, F you, you ugly pig. But I think that people in your circle should always tell you, you're getting really overweight. You're really overweight. And if somebody at the store is like, oh, hey, you're really overweight, you may need that experience to change your life forever, because you can be 500 pounds at the grocery store. And if no one in your circle is telling you, and that one lady at the grocery store says something that, and it irks you so bad that you're like, I have to do something to change my life or else I'm going to literally die, because that's how serious obesity is, then I'm like, yes, we need more honesty. And even there's one more thing. We're lacking honesty in the society. We're lacking so much honesty. We're afraid to say anything truthful.
I never said I was afraid to say things truthful, but that has nothing to do with
If she's fat, anyone can say she's fat, and because that's the truth.
So do you randomly walk up to fat people that you don't know and say you're fat?
I don't even go out that.
Yeah. But if that's what you're preaching, you should go out and tell, right?
I help people who I see. I actually help them. I say, it would be so great if we went on a walk together. Let's go do something.
Okay, I have a question. If you go to the grocery store, do you see a fat woman? Because you do grocery shopping. Or a fat man, would you walk up to them just straight up and say, hi, you're overweight, you need to lose weight?
I actually would try and make friends with them.
But that's right. You make friends with them. That's where it starts.
I don't expect everyone to go make friends with fat people. I do expect everyone to be honest with fat people when they count.
So you being honest with that fat person should go up to a complete stranger and say, you're fat and you lose weight, without trying to build up.
That's not an effective way, but I know that not everyone in the world knows how to help people lose weight. That's why I gave it. That's what that guy did. He hadn't booked the relationship yet. It was because they want to date. That's a relationship building moment. So he's allowed to do that. Or do that right. In that case, a relationship. The potential relationship, he's allowed to be honest. A lot of girls hide what they look like on a Tinder profile, and then the man takes.
Ivory S is honest.
The man takes his time and go on date. She shows up, and he's like, "What the heck?"
And men do that too. Like, I sure talked to so many men that I'm like, sure, you are 60 pounds heavier than your profile picture, and sometimes it's really fat. It's like 2017.
I'm like, and it's okay for you to say that, right?
That picture's like 9 years old.
It's okay for you to say that, right?
Saying that, hey, why did you use an old picture, is not saying, hey, you're fat.
It's on other okay now, but I mean, okay.
I mean, they could be bald, and it doesn't have to be fat. They could be bald, or they could have like
facial hair. You find out. Just called out your own point.
No, because I don't go to these men on a first date and say, you're fat, you should not order those chips and nachos. That's not.
We just don't have to be rude.
That's not my right to tell them what to do. God gave them a right to control their body and to control their gluttony and to control their intake of food. That's between them and God.
Mel, I'm just gonna agree. This is Mel.
I said Mel. Oh, I was like, hi Mel. Who's Mel?
All right. Well, this was part 1, I guess, of this conversation. Anything else you'd like to say before we end off this video?
There was a really good point I wanted to make, but it escaped my mind. So if it comes back up, I'll be like, I remember now.
Okay. So, all right.
I've been curious to read the comments below. I'm working to change her opinion on this, so we'll see.
That will, never happen. Just because
miracles happen once in a while. That's a song.
Well, no, because it won't happen because I can't.
But I never
swayed away from the truth. And the truth.
But I never said.
If one's overweight, you can always tell them. Period. It's just that way. Just as I lost 160 pounds, so I am so.
It is interesting to me how you don't hold the people being disrespectful accountable.
One thing I've learned is that no one can hurt me. I allow people to hurt me. So if you ask me right now who hurt you, I would say no one. It's my choice to let anyone hurt me.
I hear what you're saying. At the same time, that's the truth. But at the same time, those people that said those hurtful things or were disrespectful or were derogatory or whatever the negative thing they did should also be held accountable.
it was a blessing from that because it changed my life and it helped me realize I had eating disorder and it helped me realize I was binge.
God uses evil all the time. And so if it's a blessing. So it's not bad. But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be held accountable for what they did that was wrong.
It's not bad. I'm so glad that it happened. I'm grateful.
So I know we said we were ending, but I'm curious. So do you think we should work to stop bullying?
I think we should raise our children to be good people, and then that will equate to not bullying.
And there are, I do remember the point. There are people who are thin and fit, and they still get these truth comments that you're talking about. When people saying you need to eat more, you're just like skin and bones. There's an influencer, another influencer I follow. She's a mom, and she's had her own depression journey. She's had her weight gain and loss journey. She's had substance abuse, and she shares all of it in how she's worked through the mental health, the fat, and then thin. Like on one hand, she wasn't eating. On the other hand, she overate, and like she's been very open, and she actually has helped a lot of other women with that. It's a pretty cool story to like watch, and very open with, hey, I had a relapse, here's what worked. She did this clip once where she showed this really this overweight woman in a bathing suit enjoying herself on the beach, and she wasn't like parading in front of other people. She wasn't like, look at me. She just was like sitting there with her friends, and she was overweight, and her and her friends took a picture and was posted online, and the comments was like, what was that big washed up whale? Look at that big, and like nasty, horrible comments. And then she's like, but wait, okay. So then she shows like a really thin, a bikini model. And this woman was like very slender. What's wrong with that girl? She needs to eat a burger. Somebody should tell her that she just looks sick and unhealthy, and all these other derogatory comments. And then she showed a girl that was like in the middle, like thick, but not fat, just healthy. You could tell she was healthy. You could tell she worked out. She just wasn't skin and bones, and she wasn't overweight. She just was beautifully curvy and healthy looking, honestly. All the comments on her, man, what does she think you're, and all these negative derogatory comments. And the point that she was pointing out was that no matter if you're super skinny, skin and bones, fat and overweight, healthy and in the middle, people are going to judge you. People are going to make comments that be derogatory, rude, and mean. You need to be confident in who you are and do what's best and healthy for you. Do we need guidance? Do we need people speaking into our lives? Absolutely. Sometimes we can't see our own flaws, our own issues, and we need someone to say, hey, we need to work on this. But there's also a negative side where people come and they insult and they get their opinions and their views that are unwarranted and disrespectful to a human, to any human. And so on one hand, you know, that truth that is spoken needs to be spoken in love and respect and in kindness in a way that can be received.
And I think telling someone they're fat and need to eat a salad is just a man's way. Sometimes men have more direct ways of saying it.
And men can be very disrespectful to women. It's fine to anyone, really.
It's fine for someone to say, hey, you're fat, eat this weight. It's totally fine. That's not mean. It's just the truth.
People have killed themselves over hearing that. You see, it is not them. It's not somebody because because sometimes their unhealth, their fat and all that is a result of a mental health issue that they actually need help and guidance on.
And I can acknowledge that, and it's not going to be somebody's fault for somebody else killing themselves just because.
No, but you don't know. Me not knowing where you are in a mental health status will be horrible for me to just assume that I can tell you need to go lose weight. Unless I took the time to get to know you and understand where you are and then say something in love and say something in that. Because again, we don't know what drove them to that point. It could be they don't care. It could be trauma. They could have witnessed some horrible something and they stress ate. It could be anything. And that's where it goes back to you don't just have the prerogative to tell just any Joe Schmo, hey, I think you're fat. Nope. You have to earn that right and respect.
But on a date, you can tell the person they're fat.
So, well, if my first date tells me that, I'm walking.
Okay, but I'm
just regardless of my fat or not.
You can just agree to disagree on that. So,
I'm just gonna hold back for any more comments.
I mean, you can say what you want, but I'm just going to say we should agree to disagree. I mean, is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, that was the thing that I just mentioned was the one that I had thought about earlier. It came back, so I'm that they will remember it.
Okay. All right. So that is our little Vine positive debate, if you will, and
Literal debate.
comment down below.
Is this the first like controversial thing you've had on, or have you had other ones?
There, he had an overweight model. Come on, an overweight model, a plus size model, and it was very interesting.
Which is interesting because your mom was at one point too.
Yeah, she was a plus size model.
Yeah. Does she regret that? Sorry, we keep not ending. We keep saying we're ending it or not ending.
Does mom regret being a plus size model?
Like, does she feel that she perpetuated something that she does not agree with anymore? Like that it's okay.
Reggie, she doesn't push. Maybe she does, but she wasn't really that plus size like back then.
No,
look at her photos.
Yeah.
Versus the plus size models now, you're like, oh, she was like, oh.
Yeah. I remember when she told me she was a plus size model, I was like, where's the plus? Like,
yeah. Everyone is always like.
But see, again, back to people telling her, oh, you're bigger than you should be. Who are they to tell her that? And therefore you're a plus size model when she was actually very tall, slender, and healthy for her weight and size. I think, I don't know what.
She did tell me she's like a size 14, 16. It's really hard to, but she's also really tall. Yeah.
Does that affects it too?
I don't know. I wasn't alive back then, so I really shouldn't. I'm not going to speak on it.
That's right.
I just don't know.
She wasn't born yet.
I wasn't born.
I didn't know her then. I just knew she had that career.
But yeah, so we have had controversial podcasts before.
You need to hold my hands. I keep waiting in the microphone.
We have had a controversial podcast with Dr. Ozempic, a plus size actress. We had another one, a girl who was on a weight loss journey, and it was really interesting. You can watch it. Actually, it's still up. So
yeah, I'd be curious to see that.
It's quite interesting. All right. Well, thank you, Tara, for speaking on this subject and unfollowing us on Instagram because of this video. I'm going to try to find the videos so that we can maybe do a reaction to it later or tomorrow or something. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we will see you all the time.
We help women to beat obesity with our Step It Up system in just 90 days. Click the link in the description to learn how to lose weight without drugs like Ozempic.